Do you know consonant? Do you know vowels? Have you ever wondered what consonants and vowels are? So, in this video, Febriyanti, Eryana, Putri, Kalimul Fahmi, and Galih, Rensa, Pramudya will explain about consonant and vowels. We are from Group 3, Class 3 Class, English Education Department, Singaperbangsa University. Stay tuned!
For the first material is consonants that will be explained with Galih, Rensa, Pramudya. Here it is.
Consonant, because consonant involves a narrowing or structure at an identifiable place in the vocal tract. Phoneticians have traditionally classified a consonant in terms of its place of articulation. The T of 10, for instance, requires an auric seal between the upper rim of the tongue and the upper gum or teeth. Phonetic describe of place of articulation. However, consonant rests on a section or slice through the midline of the vocal tract. The mid-sagittal plane, as it is known, and it is plain. The seal is made between the tips or blade of the tongue and the boundary ridge behind the upper front teeth. The alveolar ridge. The sound is therefore described as alveolar. On the IPA chart, symbols for the majority of consonants are to be found in the large table at the top. Place of articulation is reflected in the organization of this consonant table. Each column represents a place of articulation, reflected in the label across the top of the table from bilabial at the left to glottal, consonant made by the vocal cord or vocal fold. At the right, the term bilabial and labiodental indicate that the consonant is made by the lower lips against the upper lips and the upper front teeth respectively. Manner of articulation. Manner of articulation also includes important factors such as whether the velum, the soft part of the plate at the back of the mouth, is raised or lowered. If it is lowered, as for the sound M and N in man, the resonances of the nasa cavity will contribute to the sound. Consonants where this happens is called nasal. It should be clear that the consonant table is more than just of symbols. It embodies classificatory system for consonant. It allows the user to ask the questions such as, how should I symbolize the voice sound involving complete chords at the U vowel? The answer is O. Or conversely, what sort of a sound is G? The answer is one which is voiced and which frication can be heard, resulting from a narrowing between the tongue front and the heart plate. Not all cells or halves of cells in the consonant table contain symbols. The gaps are of their kind. Shade cell chords where the intersection of a manner and a place of articulation define a sound which is thought not to be possible. Either by definition, a nasal requires an oral occlusion combined with lowering of the velum, and so a perichial or glottal nasal is ruled out, or because the sound is impossible or too difficult to produce, such as velar trill or bilabial lateral fricative, unless phoneticians are mistaken in their view of the latter category of sound. No symbols will be needed for any of the shaded cells. An unshaded gap such as velar lateral fricative may indicate that the sound in question can be produced, but has not been found in language. It is always possible that the language will be discovered which requires the gaps to be filled in. A case of this kind is the velar lateral approximant L, which only became general known among phoneticians in the 1970s when it was reported in Kanite, a language of Papua New Guinea. An unshaded gaps may also occur where a sound can be represented by using an existing symbol but giving it a slightly different value, with or without an added mark spared from the symbol. A symbol such as 13 show on the chart the position for a voice bilabial fricative can also be used to represent a voice bilabial approximant if needed. In a similar way, no symbols are provided for a voiceless nasal. A voiceless alveolar nasal can be written by adding the voiceless mark below the symbol N to form an approximate composite symbol E. Many of the gaps on the card could be filled in this way by the use of diacritics. The formation of this kind of composite symbol is discussed further in the section on diacritics below.
Second material is vowel sounds that will be explained by Kalimul Fahmi and Febriyanti Putri. Stay tuned.
Vowels are sounds which occur at syllable centers, and which, because they involve a less extreme narrowing of the vocal tract than consonants, cannot easily be described in terms of a place of articulation as consonants can. Instead, they are classified in terms of an abstract vowel space, which is represented by the four-sided figure known as the vowel quadrilateral. This space bears a relation, though not an exact one, to the position of the tongue in vowel production, as explained below. Figure 3 shows a mid-sagittal section of the vocal tract with four superimposed outlines of the tongue shape. For the vowel labeled E, which is very like the vowel of word heed, heed, heed. The body of the tongue is displaced forwards and upwards in the mouth, towards the hard palate. The diagram shows a more extreme version of this vowel than normally found in English, at least, so that any further narrowing in the palatal region would cause the airflow to become turbulent, resulting in a fricative. This extreme vowel is taken as a fixed reference point for vowel description. Since the tongue is near the roof of the mouth, this vowel is described as close. And since the highest point of the tongue is at the front of the area where vowel articulation are possible, it is described as front. Conversely, for the vowel labeled which is very like the vowel of words part or dark, the tongue body is displaced downwards and backwards, narrowing the pairing. The most extreme version of this vowel, made so that any further narrowing in the pairings would result in a fricative, is taken as a second fixed reference point. The space between the tongue and the roof of the mouth is as large as possible. So, this vowel is described as open, and the tongue is near the back of the mouth, so it is described as back. If the tongue body is raised as close as possible at the back of the mouth, just short of producing a velar consonant, and as is common in languages, the lips are simultaneously rounded and protruded. The closed back vowel results, which is similar to the vowel of boot, boot, boot. And if a vowel is produced in which the highest point of the tongue is at the front of the mouth and the mouth is as open as possible, the result is a. This is very like the quality of the vowel in cat, cat, in the contemporary standard Southern British English. These two extreme vowels may also be regarded as fixed reference. And for now, we go to figure 4. The first part of figure 4 shows that joining the circles representing the highest point of the tongue in these four extreme vowels gives the boundary of the space within which vowels can be produced. For the purpose of vowel description, this space can be stylized as the quadrilateral shown in the second part of figure 4. For the reference vowels can now be defined as shown in the third part of figure 4. Specifically, two fully round vowels A and E are defined between E and E, so that the differences between each vowel and the next in the series are auditorily equal, and similarly, two fully back vowels O and O are defined to give equidistant step between and U. The use of auditory spacing in the definition of these vowels means vowel description is not based purely on articulation, and is one reason why the vowel quadrilateral must be regarded as an abstraction and not a direct mapping of tongue position. These vowels and those defined below are exemplified in section 3.
There are now 4 defined vowels height. I and U are closed vowels. E and O are closed mid vowels. E and E are open mid vowels. And A are open vowels. Note that in this last pair, indifference in letter shape is important, signifying a front vowel and a back vowel respectively. The vowel space can be seen to be taking on the form of a grid. The 8 reference vowels are known as the primary cardinal vowels. Cardinal in this sense refers to points on which the system of description hangs. The descriptions of the primary cardinal vowels outlined above differ slightly from that of the English phonician Daniel Jones, who first defined them, but is in accord with a widespread conception of them today. The primary cardinal vowels are often referred to by numbers ordered anticlockwise around the quadrilateral. So far, lip activity has been largely ignored. In the back series of cardinal vowels, A, O, U, lip rounding progressively increases from none on O to close rounding on U, but convention rounded vowels are placed to the left of the front or back line of the quadrilateral, and rounded vowels to the right. Conversely, in the front series A, E, I, the lips are neutral for E and become progressively are spread through the series to I. The effect that I, E, A, O are unrounded and O, U have increasing rounded reflects a relationship commonly found in languages between vowel height, backness, and rounding. Lip activity is, however, independent of tongue position, and many languages exploit this in their vowel systems. To reflect this, 8 secondary cardinal vowels are therefore defined, which differ only in lip position from their primary counterparts. These are shown paired with their primary counterparts in the word part of figure 4. So, for example, of the closed vowels I, Y, W, U, I, W have spread lips, and Y, U have closely rounded lips, and of the open mid vowels O, A, O, E, A have slightly spread lips, and W, U have open rounding. A further 2 secondary cardinal vowels are defined. These are the closed central vowels I, spread, and H, close rounded. The secondary cardinal vowels are sometimes referred to by the number of the corresponding primary cardinal vowel. For example, is secondary cardinal 2, or they are numbered anticlockwise around the quadrilateral from 9 to 16. I and H are then numbered 17 and 18 respectively. The complete set of IPA vowel symbols is shown in the quadrilateral on the chart. In addition to the cardinal vowels already discussed, which lie on the outside edge of the quadrilateral, there are symbols for mid-central vowels and for vowels at a number of intermediate locations. There is a pair of symbols for unrounded and rounded closed mid-central vowels, and E corresponding open mid pair. The vowel D, often read to a schwa, lies at the middle of the vowel's quadrilateral, and E lies between open mid and open. The E vowels are mid-centralized from I, Y, U, respectively. Since the vowel space is continuous, it is a matter of chance whether a vowel in a language exactly coincides with one of the reference points symbolized on a quadrilateral. In particular, languages may use vowels which are similar to, but not as peripheral, as the reference points indicated by the cardinal vowels. If detailed phonetic description is required, most vowels in a language have to be placed in relation to a reference vowel. For instance, a vowel centralized and lowered from cardinal. This description can be symbolized by adding diacritics to the cardinal vowel symbol. So, there are all of these English vowel sounds, but only 5 English vowel letters: A, E, I, O, U. How does that work? Let's use the letter E as an example. When you see the letter E in an English word, it can be pronounced in a few different ways. Short E, as in egg. Long E, as in she. Long with an accent, as in cave, cave, or the lazy sajwa sound. This sound is so lazy. Like 11, 11. So let's look at this group of English sounds. Remember that they are sound, not English letters. Now let's look at the first two sounds, E, E, and E. These sounds cause a few problems for English learners. E and E. Beach, beach. As an example, it has the long vowel sound in this word. E, beach. If you mispronounce this long vowel sound and use the short sound, you'll say a rude word. Beach, beach. Here's another example. Shit, shit. E, shit. It uses a long vowel sound, but if you accidentally use the short vowel sound, you'll say a rude word. So, long vowel sounds and short vowel sounds are important in English. The short sound is E, E, like hit, sing, pit, which, disc. The long vowel sound E, meat. eat, beach, sheet, believe. Next, we have the vowel sound U. You'll hear that in words like book, cook, sugar. And then we have the longer sound U. You will hear this sound in words like you, chew, shoe, who, computer. Let's move on. It's also easy to confuse the E vowel sound with the short E vowel sound. For example, egg, 10, left, excellent. Below that, we have A. A. You will hear this sound in words like Kate, flat, compact, date. Let's go through the middle now. Next, we have my favorite sound. It's the laziest sound in English. It's also the most commonly heard sound in English. You will hear it a lot. Today, teacher, around. Then there is as in her, word, first, work, bird. Notice that the same English sounds can be used for all of these different letters. In that example, all the words her, work, and first use different letters but make the same sound. That's why learning the IPA is going to help you pronounce English word better. Then we have the O sound. O. You can hear this word pronounced in or, for, book, perform, so. Underneath, we move from A sound to O. You can hear this sound in words like cup, but, butter, truck. Then there is a sound, far, part, hard. Then we have the hot. We have the O sound. You can hear this sound in not, on, log, hot, forgot. So that's it for English vowel sound pronunciation today.